Hey folks, producer Casey here. Just a quick heads up. It's been a little bit of a weird week and a hectic week. We had the anniversary of the LA fires, the anniversary of the January 6th attack on the Capitol, a military kidnapping of another country's leader, however awful he might be, and now another protester killed in broad daylight by a masked ICE agent. I'm thinking next year maybe I'll just skip January. Our intention today was to release our deep dish into Anthology episodes 1 through 3, but frankly, I wasn't able to get it all done in time. But my friend, Tony Mendoza, had the bright idea to let's at least push out episode 1 as a mini episode. We've got a lot of this to get through. So that is what we're going to do today. As always, we hope you are safe. We hope you are as angry as we are about the masked police force terrorizing our cities and our immigrant neighbors. If you're listening from abroad, we hope you maybe have a couch that we could crash on for a couple years. And above all, we hope that you take care of yourselves and of the people around you. 2026 is not seeming like it's going to be very much fun. But you know what could be? The next 22 minutes. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your patience. More to come next week. Now, take it, Tony.
Take it, Tony.
All right. We're about an hour here. Should we start doing this?
You got this? Yeah, man.
All right. Episode 1.
Untitled Beatles podcast.
Originally 79 minutes on the DVDs and VHS. Now it's down to 63 minutes. So
thank God. Kids couldn't handle the full 79, Tony. Too long.
I mean, there is something to say about something being closer to a TV length than a movie length. I'm just going to say that. There is. If I see something that's more than an hour and I have to watch it, and it's not the Beatles, I'm talking about just something, and not something Take 79 orchestra only.
Buy it twice. Twice is nice.
Like, I see that, and I for real, as a viewer, I'm like, I don't want to spend that much time. You know what I mean? So if you're a casual person coming into this, an hour is nice.
God, don't get Tony started on Alex Haley's Roots. Tonight on A Beatles C.
Roots, The Triumph of an American Family is coming January 23rd on ABC. Parental discretion is advised.
Also, it's like 9.5 hours long.
Tony, look, I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to come back with this. While my wife and I have not seen the most recent Stranger Things, we got to burn other things before we get to that. But the previous season of Stranger Things, every episode was an hour and 70 minutes, and it was a huge. It can be done. I keep thinking Get Back was 9 hours. I understand what you're saying, but there's a juxtaposition here with like some stuff can be long, some stuff can't be long. I don't get it.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, I fell off Stranger Things because I lost interest. So, you know what I mean?
But you got into Stranger Danger.
Right, but that's on my own time.
That ain't on paid UBP time, my guy. So your Patreon money's going to #Tony's van.
You've already been told about strangers dressing up in uniforms, but there are other traps you need to know about.
Hi, I'm just playing with my daughter's video game, but the batteries seem to be dead. I have some in my car. Why don't you come over and help me put them in?
Stay away from people in cars or vans.
Yeah, it opens with the Beatlemania screams, the little snippet of help. Now, as you all know, every Beatles documentary must start at the port of Liverpool with the sounds of seagulls and a foghorn.
The fucking and a leghorn.
Oh.
Maybe I've been a bachelor too long.
And the clock.
Yes, and the clock. You gotta see the clock. Yeah.
Will you agree with me that Birth of the Beatles opener over Anthology 25?
Yes, because it features El Grupo Rain.
La música fue grabada para esta película por el Grupo Rain.
Yeah, Tony, the one thing I'll tell you about this, and you're totally right, because Complete Beatles opens with it, Birth of the Beatles opens with it, this opens with it. The montage, some things have changed. My first moment taken aback after how clear the Help quick opening title is was the two-shot of Mal and Neil that were kind of during In My Life. They were in separate photos, and there's a beautiful color shot of those two that's in this montage. That was one of the first Oh, wow. That was my first signal that things were changing.
Yeah. Otherwise, it was left pretty much intact. That In My Life opening, which opens the whole thing. As you know from watching the DVD, this is where we would get the clip from the Wild One.
Oh, I miss it. I know we get it later because we always got it twice.
But you got it twice.
But the reason, #callback, the reason I love it there is because it separates. We go from Help into In My Life right back into Help. And the cool thing about that Wild Ones clip was that it gave a little separation that I thought was a great directorial choice originally.
That's better, Johnny. You know, I missed you. Ever since the club split up, I missed you. We all missed you. Did you miss them? Yeah. Sure. The Beatles missed you. All the Beatles missed you.
I agree. I agree that I missed it being in that slot, and to go from In My Life right to Help, Fake Out again. You've got 2 mid-period songs in a row starting this thing off. It was quizzical. That said, I always thought the repetition of the Wild One clip later on was odd.
Yeah, it felt like a payoff. And oddly, when we get into that, they now have a clip of George setting the Wild One clip up.
Yes, which works.
Which is helpful.
You know, I realized by watching the Wild One that the gang was all called the Beatles. And here it is now.
You know, I missed you. Ever since the club split up, I missed you. We all missed you. Did you miss them? Yeah. Sure. The Beatles missed you. All the Beatles missed you.
And we are.
I think it works better that way.
It does.
I wish they would have put something else in there to buffer In My Life montage into the story itself. And maybe I just think that the Help, let's go back thing is a little bit clumsy.
Well, and it's a lot of help at the top of this thing, too.
Yeah. Anyway.
Want a whole lot of help?
Won't you please help me?
But yeah, so we get the story. We start with the births and that 40s kind of music. Overall, I think there's more B-roll added from the times. I think things like that help. I think that helps again with the pacing and the flow for the viewer. You're less sleepy of just watching a still image, of whatever George, as a baby or whatever for a long time. Now you get more clips. It's just more engaging for the viewer. But one of my favorite details is George talking about the crystal radio set he had growing up and how they called it the cat's whisker. And I just thought that was a fun detail that always stuck with me, and they took it out, and I have no idea why they cut it out. It's fucking 1.3 seconds.
When my parents were younger, they used to have to listen on an old crystal radio set, sometimes known as the cat's whisker.
Say it with me, Tony, because it's Anthology ... 2025. Doesn't make it better, doesn't make it worse, but it ain't the same.
Right. All right, yeah. I'm not gonna bow down to your thing.
Not yet.
Just
we
yet.
got 9 episodes.
Yeah.
But okay, Tony, to your point, there's a couple small things that we're not going to talk about everything that's gone,
No,
but a couple small. No, it'll be a 9-part episode just for this. But there's a few things I feel like they don't. There's a Paul talking about skiffle clip that is gone.
The word skiffle has been removed. Which
the word
is weird.
skiffle has been removed entirely.
That's weird.
I was listening to a lot of country and western then. Skiffle was coming through.
Freight train, going so fast.
Paul talks about one of their favorite records being Searching by the Coasters in the original, which they did for the Decca audition. Yeah. That's cut.
One of my favorite records around that time was one called Searching by the Coasters.
But yeah, then they add George setting up that
Jimmy Rogers.
Yes.
The singing brakeman.
I think the first music I can remember hearing as guitar-oriented music was this record my dad brought from New York. It's a guy called Jimmy Rogers, the singing brakeman.
T for Texas, T for Tennessee.
I do think they need to import what they should have done is bring in Jerry Marsden singing Living Doll from The Complete Beatles, which is one of my favorite clips of any film ever.
I agree.
The type of music that was coming out in the charts was this. Got myself a crying, talking, sleeping, walking, living doll. Got to do my best to please her, just 'cause she's a living doll.
Yeah, we get some new commentary over photos of John at Mendips. I believe they added the guitar's all right for a hobby, but it won't earn you any money. I think that felt new to me.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I do have written down a couple quick cuts. They cut George mentioning his name being Carl Harrison.
And I was Carl Harrison. And it's funny, really. Doesn't sound like a stage name now. It's just that I loved Carl Perkins.
Yeah, they cut all the Larry Parnes stuff.
Yes!
All of that stuff got
It's
cut.
big stuff. That's not, you don't think Casey would benefit from that? I'm being serious. Like, that's, what is
Vince
that, another minute and a
Eager.
half? Right, Vince Eager.
There's Ron Wycherley, 17, known to his fans as Billy Fury, guaranteed £1,000 in his first year. Roy Taylor, 18, alias Vince Eager, £5,000 by his fifth year.
Yeah. Paul's story about taking the bus to learn B7. I loved that story. Gone.
That's the most egregious cut, and you get a little of it when Paul plays the From Me to You chord later.
Yeah.
But him explaining being on the bus, swapping chord knowledge is an essential Beatles story.
Remember once hearing about a bloke who knew B7. Now, we knew E and we knew A. Those were quite easy, but we didn't know B7. That was kind of the missing part of the link, the other chord, the lost chord. So on we got on the bus, trooped across Liverpool, changed a couple of buses, found this fella, and he showed us dum, 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 B7. We learned it off him, got back on the bus, went home to our mates and went, zing, got it.
I agree.
No German jail, no setting the condom on fire. Is that part of your censorship?
Yeah, that's in my censorship notes.
Well, Paul and Pete got, deported and by the police for burning the condom on the wall.
The whole Hamburg thing got cleaned up in a way that feels Disney.
Shorter.
The B-roll was shorter and way tamer. What's the image that strikes you the most? For me, it was the guy slugging at the other guy a few times.
Yes.
That was gone. There was the guy lifting up the woman's dress. That's gone.
There's the beer bottle being smacked on a head.
Yeah, the people mashing face at the bar or whatever.
Right.
That leering shot of tilting up on like a lascivious looking kind of, I don't know, sailor guy. It feels like he's got like a knife on him.
There's the two Girl Scouts in a fight. Oh, that's Airplane.
The mood in the place was downright ugly. You wouldn't walk in there unless you knew how to use your fists. You could count on a fight breaking out almost every night.
But yeah, there was like 3 cuts to a guy getting like shoved, like a really drunk guy getting shoved out of an establishment by a guy in an apron.
Yes.
They cut that stuff. I mean, they left the prostitutes in the window, the guy standing between the mural of the woman's legs, the really drunk guy stumbling on his own. So they kept some of that stuff in there, but Ringo mentions Dexedrine uppers, that got cut.
That was also a point of our lives where we found Dexedrine uppers, pills. And that's the only way we could continue, was to be on, Preludin, they were called, and you could buy them off of the counter, so we never thought we were doing anything, but you'd get really wired, and you'd go on for days.
But they kept in frothing at the mouth when George was like, those were the days, frothing at the mouth on uppers. So
yes, and we never hear George say Mach Shao.
Mach Shao got cut.
I think that's where we found our style. We developed our style because of this fellow he used to say, you've got to make a show for the people. And he used to come up every night shouting, Mach Shao. So we used to Mach Shao, and John used to dance around like a gorilla, and we'd all, knock our heads together and things like that.
That's a huge part of so far you've lost Skiffle and Mach Shao. I hope the kids watching are pleased that we've saved them time. Anthology 2025 on A Beatles C.
You're saying that to me, though, like I'm advocating for that. I'm not. I'm just saying that these are things that happened. Yeah, I would have cut other things for flow, like Ringo talking about like, oh, I never had sardines out of a can before, whatever that line is. I don't need that.
We only had salmon out of a can.
Give me Mach Chow. I don't need your sardines.
That's where I discovered smoked salmon. Never had any salmon that didn't come out of a tin till I was 22.
Yeah, but I mean, they are telling the story well and in a concise way. You know, we get their first recordings. We get Stu, all the stuff about Stu. We get Pete Best. We get Ringo's intro. Less Rory and the Hurricane stuff, or they cut it and moved it to later. They did some rearranging.
Well, and Tony, you get Pete Best playing badly on Love Me Do, which you did not have in the original. That's a cool thing as they're telling the Pete Best story. It's like, this is why, you guys.
And we did a reasonable audition, not very good. But the thing he didn't like was our drummer. We really started to think we needed the great drummer in Liverpool.
And that's another funny thing, too, is we've mentioned this before, but on the Jimmy Nicol versions of the Beatle cash-in cover versions of songs that he was doing before he joined the Beatles, but he was doing that on that part of Love Me Do. Which is so strange. It must have been like an instinct for drummers to do that on that change, to make it more of a whatever that is.
Well, you know what they say. Andy White didn't do that. Next
right.
on Andy White didn't do that. Yeah, Tony, that's pretty great. One thing they cut that I thought was very surprising was George Martin dogging How Do You Do It? I'm like, wait, before they get to that, didn't George Martin have a quote about like, I didn't think it was a terribly well-written song? That's gone.
Well, you know what they did with that? In the DVD, George Martin said, it's the same clip. They split the clip up. George says like, oh, it's this song. It's called How Do You Do It? And it freeze frames and they play a snippet of Jerry Pacemaker's, oh, how you do me? And then the interview continues.
The kind of song I was looking for, I did actually find. And that was a song by Mitch Murray called How Do You Do It? And I was convinced this was a hit song.
How do you do what you do to me? I wish I knew if I knew.
Not a great piece of songwriting, it wasn't the most marvelous song I'd ever heard in my life, but I thought it had that essential element which would appeal to a lot of people.
That to me is one of those choices that they made in 90 whatever that feels dated, and that's why I think that's what it is. It's just like certain choices are dated now and they're updating it.
I think we should fix all dated choices. I don't like one thing I agree on is we don't like the ending of Schindler's List.
We're beeping that fucker's name off, by the way.
Yes, sorry.
We don't want that fucker's name on this podcast.
You're right.
What are some other cuts? Kathy from the Cavern, her initial thing. We end with her in episode 1, which is lovely, but that's the only time we see her.
They cut her a couple of times.
Yeah. She gets cut in episode 2 and then the first thing in episode 1. But the Cavern footage looks amazing, man. It just does. Uncanny Valley or not, it looks amazing.
It sounds amazing. The look of it made me a little freaked out.
Do you have your setting? Is your TV on that setting where things move weird? You know what I'm talking about?
It's not a super fancy. It's some LG I got on Black Friday during the pandemic to watch Get Back.
Okay. Because, there's that setting that, like, boomers put on their TVs to make everything look kind of like zhuzhy or something. And I find it very strange. Like, people start walking and it looks... there's a term for it and I can't think of it.
I think zhuzhy is the technical term.
Video interpolation or motion smoothing is a digital effect on most high-definition televisions and is intended to reduce motion blur in sporting events and other high-definition programming.
The unfortunate side effect is that it makes most movies look like they were shot on high-speed video rather than film. Now, this is sometimes referred to as the soap opera effect.
One of the things we talked about, Tony, about the fades, and I really do mean gave me a chill in the original VHS and DVD of Anthology 1, when it ends after Cavern Kathy's favorite Everly Brothers song, by the way, after Cavern Kathy is edited in the DVD, it's a slow fade to the sound of wind.
Yes.
And then you get into Leave My Kitten Alone, which at that point, out of nowhere. But think about hearing that. And I mean, it came out in the CD, but certainly when the VHS was released and all that, hearing it at the end of an episode, that was kind of astonishing. And it was over clips of Hamburg and like a still photo. Now it just fades to black. It's a quick fade to black. The drama's gone.
Yeah. The Liverpool Howling, I have that as a note that was missing. Yeah. I got one more thing on episode 1. It's tiny, but you know when they're doing the Decca audition based on Me Mucho, and they cut to the Get Back version at Apple.
At Apple, yeah.
You can actually hear John say Cha Cha Boom now, which on the DVD you couldn't. You just heard the guitars.
Bésame mucho. Love me forever and say that you'll always be mine. Cha-cha boom.
Well, that's from the Peter Jackson footage, which is really neat. I've got one more thing about Anthology 1 in the credits, Tony. So in Anthology 1 on the DVD, Jeff Wanfor gets a solo directing credit. In this Anthology 1, the director is listed as Bob Smeaton, and who I know worked on the original as well, did a lot of the interviews with Jules Holland, and it says editor and additional direction by Michael Longfellow. I couldn't find Michael Longfellow's name on the original Anthology DVDs, and I looked. God, did I look for Longfellow. Longfellow. But I think it's interesting. They changed the name of the director. I guess in your mind, that's call it the same thing. Put on Ron Howard and everything and call it whatever you want to call it. For me, it was jarring to see a different director's name at the end of Anthology 1. What? Did they get it wrong in 95? Maybe.
Well, no, it's just whoever did all this stuff, all the stuff that you hate. That's this person that did that, I think. I think that's what that means. I don't know.
I don't know, man. But, and again, I don't hate it. I just want people to stop lying to me.
Episode 2, originally 72 minutes. Now it's 53. It's a sweet 53. 19 minutes gone.
Yeah. Who needs that part of Beatle history? It's streaming. You got to plan for commercial breaks? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. You get about 6 commercial breaks for each one. I counted it up. I think it's like 8 minutes and 15 seconds of commercials. Unless you're a 1%er and have the platinum plan or whatever.
Baby, you're a rich man. Baby, you're a rich man. Baby, you're a rich man. And you're a rich man, too.
Oh my God, Tony, we've blown past episode 1 without mentioning that definitively Pete Best and Stu Sutcliffe just don't matter.
I mean, they're mentioned.
Who's mentioned more in Beatles Anthology, Jimmy Nicol or Pete Best?
I don't know.
Jimmy Nicol wins. No, I think Jimmy Nicol wins by a mile. It's a lot of Jimmy. They must love our show. Big Apple loves us because Jimmy Nicol's our mascot.
Jimmy Nicol's, the stand-in for Ringo in Australia, kept saying when they'd ask him something, he said, "It's getting better all the time." That's where we all got that better. All right, another memory lane from Jocko Flynn.
Episode 2 does a lot of rearranging, yeah.
And we'll hear all about it next week. Thank you. Goodbye.
Untitled Beatles Podcast. Like and subscribe